Good morning. Hello everyone. Hopefully starting with the camera the wrong way around is not an indicator of things to come. But yeah, good morning. Hi Marianne. Hi Aurora. Joel. Hello. If I don't know your name because your handle does not have it in it, I'm sorry. Welcome. Hello, 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 hello. Monday morning check-in. So let me know how you are. Let me know how you're feeling about things. If there's something that you feel, yeah, ta-da, the big reveal. Hey, let me know. Yeah, let me know. I was just going to do a pure Q&A today. Had nothing planned, and then this morning this started to come in. So I'm going to share this with you, and it's a reminder that you are the custodian of your mind, your heart, your emotions, and your body. So you are the custodian of your mind, your heart, and your body. So why do you keep giving them away? What came to me this morning actually was the words, why do you keep pimping them out? And I thought, well, that might be a bit harsh. But you know what? We do pimp them out. So have a think about and let that sit and let that settle. If you are the custodian, why do you, and you as a general to everybody, okay, this is going to apply to some people more than others, and some parts are going to apply more to you than others. So you might be more someone that gives your mind away, but not your body, or your heart, but not your mind, And here's the visual that came to me. You know those games with the tiles where you have to move one color all the way to the top, and you have to move all the other tiles out the way in order to be able to get it to the top. What a lot of people are doing right now, it's so clear with what's happening, because this is the time to remember that we are the custodians, that in order to live sovereignly, you can look at the Aboriginals for this as a narrative that you've watched, a real life visual that you have observed. The sovereign owners, the custodians, and their rightful ownership and reclaiming that. That is happening on the inside with each one of us. And we can't have it on the outside until we have it on the inside, like anything. Like anything, change starts with us. It starts on the inside and then we experience it on the outside. So it's a remembering, I am the custodian. As a sovereign being, I am the custodian of my mind, my heart, and my body. Therefore, in a game of move the tile all the way to the top, which let's say that depicts life, each tile that is in the way that must be moved is an obstacle that I face. It's a thing that I have to be able to shift out of the way. It could be a thought, it could be a belief system, it could be a stuck feeling, it could be a stuck narrative, it could be an actual physical thing, it could be work, it could be family, it could be whatever. A physical illness. I have to move it out of the way. What is happening, what is so clearly, what we can so clearly see at this time is how much we put our hands in the air and we shout for someone to come and move that tile. We want the government to move the tile. We want our workplace to move the tile. We want our family. We want someone to move the tile. And we stand there and we yell and we go, I can't move any further, because this is in the way. And what we are now moving into so very powerfully is a whole era where we realize and we recognize, okay, at the deepest level, we are the tile, even that's in front of us, for sure. But let's take it back a step. The recognition that only we can move that tile. It is up to us. If we are to live as sovereign beings, if we are the custodians of our mind, our heart, and our body, then it is our job to move the tiles out of the way and navigate our own way to the top of that board, life, goal, journey, wherever we're going, up, in, whatever. Does anyone have any thoughts, feelings, feedback, questions on that? And anything in general that you want to share with how you're feeling, how your week has been, a lot of Novak talk, how you feel about that, just anything. Let me see. So, if you are the custodian of your mind, heart, and body, why do you keep giving them away? So how do we give our mind away? Okay, actually, beautiful example of giving heart away and emotions was Mr. Cookson when the Novak news came out. So Mr. Cookson was, I can't remember where he found it. Yes, Aurora, I was off grid for the weekend too. I was off Instagram. So Mr. Cookson sitting next to me, he's scrolling through Instagram. He sees that the it's been, I don't know, the what do you call it? The whatever has come through, and he's going to be deported. And he turned to me and he said, right, definitely staying off Facebook. And I was so like, that is such a beautiful example of healthy custodian caretaking, because he knows Facebook will be a shit show of people cheering. And so he's like, why would I want to do that to myself? So this is what I mean by why do you give away what you're a custodian over? Okay, so Marianne, you feel ashamed and saddened about the outcome of Novak. Are you that surprised? Are you actually that surprised? And I have just read all of these comments from people saying, I feel so embarrassed, I feel so ashamed, I feel so to be an Australian. Just feel into that for a moment. If you know the full agenda, if you know even 1/4 millimeter of the agenda, what exactly, you're not surprised. I'm not surprised. None of us are surprised. If you know the agenda, what is the agenda? To hijack your emotions, to hijack your energy, to hijack your frequency, and to make you feel low and hopeless. So, when you feel ashamed of your country, that beautifully takes care of all of them. All of them. Being abused by an awake family member I hadn't seen for a year put me on a downer and I can't help it. Okay, so let's just sit with Novak for a minute. Have you noticed that over the last 2 years, it's an up and it's a down, it's an up and it's a down, and then everybody pins their hopes on this and then, oh, they're shattered. This is our saviour, this is the light, this is the win, this is, and then it, and pummel back to the ground. The mastery that is this time is the just going, don't care about the shit show, don't care about the shit show, don't care about the shit show. Novak may well be a beautiful being. He may well be what everybody has been saying he is. Fabulous, wonderful, great, fantastic. What does he have to do with you? What does he have to do? If you are the custodian of your mind, your heart, and your body, what on God's green earth does Novak have to do with you? I mean, in all honesty, what does any of it have to do with you when you are the light, you are the hope, you are your own saviour, you are the thing you've been waiting for, and you're already awake? So, do we move along with things and go, wow, that's fabulous, and share happy and excited news and get into that. Yes, we do. But then we can't, it's not real. I've said this many times before, I'm going to remind you, it's not real if it can be taken away. If I can take your hope away, you never actually had hope in the first place. If I can take your light away, it was not your light in the first place. If I can take your self-esteem away, you did not have it in the first place. This is all that this time is showing you. My father was a very violent man, bit of a psychopath, really not a fabulous human being. I am not ashamed by that. He did not speak for me, act for me, represent me, and that was my own father. Why would your government represent you? Why would something that your government is doing after 2 years of complete and utter shit fuckery make you feel ashamed? Like, ashamed, that's a big call. Big call. Like, I get being ashamed of your own behaviour, something that you might have done. Okay, great. If you're ashamed with that, sit with that, sit in the responsibility of it, you know, and work through that. But to be ashamed of somebody else's decision and somebody else's behaviour, particularly somebody else who has done nothing but live from a place of disconnection and disregard for 2 years, please do not buy into that. Right, because you were on the high of, and this is what the agenda is, to hijack. And this is why I'm pointing out to you, if you are the custodian of these things, we can add in your energy, your mind, your heart, your body, and your energy. Why do you keep giving them away? Why do you keep giving them away? You're not being a very good custodian to yourself. You are literally pimping them out. You are pimping them out. You are going, here, have my mind, right? You get onto social media and you go, have my mind. Fill me with your programs, fill me with your thoughts, fill me with your opinions, your beliefs, your ideas. How much can you see that at the moment? People outsourcing. So what does this mean? So what does that mean? And I'm not saying fully, of course, we all interact and we all go to places. Sure, you know, I've said this many times. I do the same thing. I watch things. I learn from people. I gather resources. I'm open. And I love going to Magenta Pixie's channel all the time and going, hey, what does she think of this? Then I run it through my own system, right? I don't outsource my mind to her. My mind stays firmly here. I go out. I get stuff that I think I might want to sort through and have a look through, and then I bring it back here, and then I decide what stays and what goes. And it's the same with your heart, which is your emotions. Your emotions are such a powerful currency. They run the world. They run the world. Let's do a whole different live on just emotions. But the whole purpose of movies, ads, news, all of it, everything that you watch on TV, that you hear on the radio, everything is to harness your emotions. The music in a movie, because they want to tell you how to feel. Because sometimes they want to harness happy, sometimes they want to harness sad, sometimes they want to harness fear. And that is with the whole Novak story, they've harnessed if you think about putting solar panels on your roof to run your whole entire house, this is what the lower energies, whatever you want to call them, it doesn't matter. You can think of them as the industries, the government that wants to manipulate you. You can think of it as an energetic thing. You can think of it as whatever. I don't care what name you put to that thing, whatever resonates with you. Your emotions are literally like a solar panel on the roof, and they harness it and they run the whole house with it. And you are feeding into the grid of the shit show like crazy. We've always been in a state of fear and chaos before all this. Fires, ISIS, yes, because frightened people are easily manipulated. But every now and again, the show wants to give you hope. Every now and again, it wants to harness it, but look how beautifully they've used it. What have they done? So, like the comment before about the unawake family member having a go. The Novak narrative was beautiful for them on so many levels. Now, I'm not saying it was a false flag. I'm not saying it wasn't. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Let's start living life going, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's a way for me to check back in on myself and go, okay, where am I in this? Where am I leaking power? Where am I hemorrhaging power? Where am I giving this power? Where am I feeding this? Where am I feeding into the grid? Where am I feeding into the grid? You want to go off grid? Start with your energy. Become really mindful what you lend your energy to. So the whole Novak story was brilliant for conflict. There are two sides battling worldwide. Everybody talking about it and not talking about all the other things they did while we were all focused on Novak. Battles within, and then hopes up high and dashed. But there's another group that had their hopes rise because they wanted him to lose. So it's this constant and they harness that as though you're literally, think of yourself as though you're almost hooked up to electrodes watching a movie. Think of yourself hooked up to electrodes whenever you go into social media, whenever you go into TV or radio or any of those, and start recognizing they are harnessing you beautifully. And then remember, if I am the custodian, because you know what? If I came to your house and I knocked on your door and I said, I own you, I own your mind, because you follow me on social media or whatever, I own your mind, you'll tell me to go fuck myself. So how come you freely give it away in so many other ways? Let this be a reminder. Let this be a defining moment. Let this be your line in the sand where you go, you know what, no more, no more. So let's do a whole other one on emotions, because then your ego can flip. Ego loves that because ego's so black and white. So ego's going to flip into, okay, so what are you saying to me I shouldn't feel anything? Are you saying to me I should just be completely untouchable as I walk through this world? No. So let's do a whole separate thing on emotions, because emotions are a massively powerful thing for you and for the matrix, which is why they want to control it, which is why they want you to suppress your emotions from birth. And they want you to medicate them, and they want you to think they're not normal. They want you to see your emotions as a weakness because they are so powerful. But for now, just recognize that I'm actually feeding the grid. And am I feeding it in the way I want to be? Just a front for more sinister bullshit. Yes, there's always more bullshit coming. The bullshit will not end. Somebody said to me the other day, we just need the mandates to end. And I'm like, yeah, you just need to live without the mandates ending, and you need to start navigating and recognizing how the mandates can end in your life. Okay, what mandates are you putting on yourself? Worry about that. Don't worry about any external mandates. I believe they're trying to harness our energy and emotion, but do you think they try to harvest it too? Does it power them? Yes. Yes. It works the whole grid. So, as I said, it depends on what level you want to think of it at. If you think of it on a government level, our fear manipulates us into voting in certain ways, into supporting certain industries, right? Certainly with, when the buildings came down in a certain part of the US. You just don't know what's flagged these days. And they, of course, that was created and then used to bring in a narrative to have us live a certain way. The current scenario, have us live a certain way. I don't know if any of you have noticed, there's some ads now for smartwatches. I'm always surprised by who wears smartwatches. I have to say, there's some pretty awake people wearing smartwatches, and I think, okay, hey, something I'm missing on that front clearly, because yeah. So have you seen the ads on TV? And there's two different ones doing the rounds. They are about people getting in trouble and their smartphones activated an emergency response. One of the ads is some visual, I think someone bobbing around on water, and it's the 000 call that he had with this person because his phone activated and he was saved. The other ad I can't remember. So I see that ad and I think, beautiful. Next narrative in the track and trace. For your safety, for your benefit. People will be going, kids, don't leave home without your phone, because what if something happens? That phone will save you. Let's not go on a hike without our phone. Let's not go out whatever without our phone, because our phone will save us. I mean, people have been allowing themselves to be tracked and traced. Their heart rate, all of it. Because I need to know how many steps I'm doing. Okay, anyway. So then the other day I hop into the car and the radio's on, and the news comes on the radio. And the lady says, yesterday, two girls had a very scary incident. And as soon as I heard the wording, my ear pricked. I was like, because normally news comes on, I kind of shut down. A very scary incident. And I thought, they had a very scary incident, did they? Yes, they did. Off the beach of somewhere, Rye, Portsea, somewhere like that. They were boogie boarding or something like that. And they got in trouble. And fortunately, their smartphone flagged an emergency. Fortunately. And I literally, I laughed. I laughed so much. And I thought, look at that. Isn't that brilliant? Thank God for the smartphone. And I also realized this is the thing. You know when it's no longer working, all you people waiting for it to fully go away so that you can get on with your life, you got a really long way coming. You know that it's no longer working when you can see it and you are not triggered. When either you laugh or you just whatever, or you don't even hear it, it doesn't even come into your realm. If it's still triggering you, you're still affected by it. So at that level, yes, it powers them because as a consumer, as a voter, easily manipulated into various industries. At the next level, we are manipulated into into the power we believe we have, right? We have been programmed to believe that we are weak, prone to disease. I mean, literally people have been programmed into forgetting they have a thing starting with I that helps them fight disease. At the next level, it is the energies that are harnessed that literally runs the projector. It runs the whole program. The whole thing is like it's a program overlay of what is actually here, of resources that are actually available to us, of who we are and of our power, has all been hijacked and overlaid with this program. And that is literally, I mean, this is the irony, that is literally run through us. Because they don't have the power over us, but we have the power over ourselves to forget who we are. So they energetically are not as high as what we are. They cannot create as powerfully as we can. We are the creator beings. And so this is why for eons, they have harnessed us and they program us and they suggest things. If I got on here every day and I suggested that you do something, and then I put a bit of fear in with it, and if you don't do that, this will happen, I can start to control what you might buy or what you might purchase. I mean, this is how marketing has run and advertising has run for a long time. But it's how the whole thing is run. The predictive programming with movies, with ads, with all of it, with now the smartwatches, right? So yes, it does power them, powers the whole entire system. Reminds me of The Matrix so much, just watch the latest one. Oh, what was that like? I mean, the irony of the fact that you can't in Victoria go and watch the Matrix film without actually being, you know. What was the movie like? What did you think of it? It's a spiritual war. They get more power when they own your emotions and your thoughts, for sure. Because this is the thing. So I'll take you back to what the main lesson today, the main reminder, okay, because you already know this stuff. You are the custodian of your mind, heart, and body, and by heart, emotions. You are the custodian of your mind, heart, emotions, and body. So why do you keep giving them away? It's time to be discerning. It's time to decide, who do I want to lend my energy to? It's the same with being a conscious consumer. If you could see where your products came from, literally, like how many people can go to an abattoir and still eat meat? It's the removal that lets you off the hook in your conscience. And it's time to be more discerning, to be more responsible, and to remember, okay, if I'm the custodian of me, who and what am I pimping myself out to? You know, with your body. So before, like I said, with your mind, who are you lending your mind to say, what's my opinion on this? What should I, with your emotions, how should I feel, right? I should feel ashamed of the decision about Novak. I should pummel to the ground. Who are you lending that out to? Who's telling you this information? Who's telling you it was even a loss? Like who's doing this? Who's deciding this for you? And with your body, we pimp our bodies out to the medical industry, the pharmaceutical industry, to the beauty industry, to the health industry, to the physical fitness industry, to Hollywood, to magazines, to all of it, to tell us whether it looks all right, whether it, you know, all of it, just all of it. Whether we're sick, people go to the doctor. What does it mean, doctor? What does this mean? Hang on, I need to do a test. What does this mean? And our own idea of what it means just gets like, I mean, what kind of a fucked up reality do we live in where you, the owner of the body, okay, think of it this way. Imagine it's a house. You've lived in this house for 35 years and I come along and I'm, I don't know, a building inspector, and you say to me, this house is damp. This house is damp in winter. It smells manky and mold grows on the windowsill. And I say to you, well, you just be quiet because I'm the building inspector and I will run some tests and I will tell you whether your house is moldy, because you don't really know what you're talking about. You haven't done like a degree in building inspecting. If I put it to you that way, it's so clear how fucking ridiculous that is. And yet with our bodies that we live in, that are our houses, that we know better than anybody, we have been taught to override that and just constantly outsource. So this is one of the ways we give our bodies away so often and let other people tell us what something means. Is it permanent? Can I heal it? What's the right treatment? What will work for me? All of it. It all has to end. It all has to end, because you cannot proclaim yourself to be a sovereign being. You cannot be the custodian of your body, or a good custodian, because you are the custodian. That's not even up for debate. Like that's a given. It is so. You cannot be a good custodian. Like seriously think about it. If someone came along and assessed how good a custodian you are of your body, mind and heart, would they take you into care of yourself? Or are you actually doing a good job? I'm just not playing anymore. Beautiful. That is my approach. I don't play the game. I do not play the game. The phone, our saviour. Yes, thank God for the iPhone. My God, where would we be without it? We'd all be drowning off the beach of Rye. Yes, well, I got rid of my smartphone and I have a dumb phone. I have a dumb phone and it's really good. Highly recommend it. Everyone says we need to go online business, etc. agenda. I mean, I'm not quite, let me know exactly what you mean by online business, like everyone says. I mean, this is an online, I have an online business. I work online, like my sessions are online. I actually love this space. I think, I think it has advanced humanity. I think it reminds us of things we've forgotten we can do, because we could do this without the phone. We've just forgotten. I think it has, I feel like one of the brilliant things about it is that it has helped us to become global in a good way, where we are literally communicating with ease across the globe, which has helped us unify in a way that we never have been able to before. This is the really, as far as I know, this is the first time on the globe that we have all had such a unifying experience. Yes, I know we see things in a different way, but we're all living a very similar, we're all experiencing this right now. And without this, it would have been 100 times harder. It would have been 100, like just to access information, to access each other, to build community. Yes, you want to have those things in real life. Yes, you want to check in with yourself for what does this mean, and, your own access to wisdom. But at the same time, like, this has been a beautiful space, if that's how you've created it and that's how you use it. Like with Mr. Cookson saying, I'm not getting on Facebook. That'll be an absolute shit show. That is good self-care. That is good self-care. So, I laugh when I hear the news too. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's comical. What about the infertility? The brave ones. The brave ones. The brave ones. Infertility is a triggering topic for people. So, people's reactions to what I'm going to say can vary. I will put this out there though. I wasn't able to have children. I wasn't able to fall pregnant. Would I have used IVF? No. So I had an interesting insight into IVF very early on in my nursing training, and just some of the things that I heard and some of the things that people said to me about it immediately went red flag. And then even in my early 20s, I could see at that point, I didn't know what was causing infertility. I did not know that the infertility experienced by such a large chunk of the population is from pharmaceuticals, the chemicals, from all of our beauty products, from all of the hormone disruptors, from the hand sanitizers, from, all of it, right? From, our food source, from the poisons in everything that we consume, breathe, drink, swim in. I didn't know that was like most likely a concerted effort to make us infertile. And now, knowing that there are literally plastics found in utero, right? From all the shit that we put onto our body, all the lotions and the potions and the perfumes and the whole gamut of poisons that we've taken on and we now poison ourselves, are poisoning us literally already in utero. So that's the infertility crisis. I didn't know that. But what I could already start to see was how manipulative and how ugly it was to prey on the desperation of folks who wanted to have babies and to charge them a fortune to literally supply all the ingredients needed for behind the veil, all of the experimentation. Hey, is it mad doctors behind there, crazy scientists experimenting? I would say yes, but even if you say no, well-meaning people dedicating their lives to helping you have a child. Okay, all right. But it is still scientific research funded by desperate couples, desperate women, desperate men, whatever, right? And that always felt off to me, always felt off. And then as it's becoming more and more of a crisis, in a sense, infertility is becoming more of an actual crisis, or certainly to us, I don't know about to the agenda, the ads of, the brave ones. It's the brave, it doesn't just take relax. And, the thing is, I've helped many women fall pregnant, and it was about emotional issues, and it was about psychological issues, and it was all sorts of things. It is definitely not always physical. But the ad of, it doesn't just take relax and go for it, it's the brave ones, the brave ones, the brave ones, the brave ones who give us a lot of money so that we can continue experimental stuff. I want to know what happens to the embryos, what happens to all the stuff, okay? What industry is that money actually going to? What is it actually feeding, okay? I think I have a lot of feelings about it, a lot of opinions. Big love from Ireland. Oh, thank you so much. Beautiful Ireland. I've been to Dublin, but I would love to get back to Ireland again and just go countryside. Only some people get the movie Don't Look Up. So I spent the weekend with my permaculture group course, two full days, and I loved it. They're beautiful people, but they're in various states of awake. And yes, it was very interesting when someone said to me, I love Don't Look Up. It was so funny. Okay. We're holding the line in Ireland. Beautiful, beautiful. I also believe we can transmute anything, so we can change the vibration of something that was intended for evil. Yes, for sure. Yes, they need the tools, the physical technology, as we have it all within us. Yeah, like we've just forgotten that we can communicate telepathically. We've forgotten that we can teleport. This is the beautiful thing, with muscle testing, kinesiology work that I do that with people all over the world. It works just as well as if they're in the room. I do it on animals. I've mainly dogs. I have done work on dogs where the dog is not here, the owner is not here, and it still works. I don't mean it still works. It works, but it works so well. Even the physical work that on one dog who I worked on, who was having a lot of bowens on his back hips, a lot of trouble with his back hips, a lot of bowens. I then did a session on him. When he went and had his next bowens, she could not believe the changes in the way his muscles felt, his ligaments, and the way he was completely carrying himself. So it's not just an energetic thing that will affect maybe how we feel, or that I can get information energetically that I can relay to you. Is literally physical shifts and changes as well. These are all things that we have forgotten. This is exactly what I mean by, that's what the matrix is. We've forgotten who we are and what we can do and how powerful we are. And then, they actually use our power. They actually harness our power against us and to keep them in power. Max Egan posted about how they want to create a prison. Yeah. I do not doubt that. I love Max Egan. I do not doubt they want to create a prison. I do not doubt they've already created prisons. I don't doubt any of it. Here is how I feel freedom will come. It's when you look at the external and you say, how am I doing this to myself? So a very powerful way to start would be to ask, where and how do I imprison myself? What do I tell myself I can't do? What do I tell myself I'm no good at? How do I speak to myself? Am I a good custodian of my body? Am I imprisoning myself in my fear? This is not just now. This is humans across time. We imprison ourselves with our thoughts, with our beliefs, with our actions, with all of it, with our words. So rather than fight the outside, which we cannot shift and change until the inside starts the process. So if you're going to watch this from the start, where I went back and I talked about that tile game where you have to move one tile from the bottom to the top, and you have to move all the others out of the way, certain ways, so you can get it through. We imprison ourselves by hitting a tile and then waiting and going, okay, I need someone to move that tile. I need the mandates to end. I need Scott Morrison to be voted out. I need DA to go. I need whatever. Anytime you think you need anything outside yourself to move that tile, we are living in our own self-imposed prison. What then happens is we feed that energetically into the grid, and it gets projected on the outer screens, and we see it in the outside. And then if we're seeing the building of prisons, people may end up in those. I could end up in those. I don't know. But how I can change timelines and how I can make myself shift beyond that is to certainly free myself in every thought, in every word, in every deed. Free myself. Facebook is a shit show. I haven't been on it for some time. I would highly recommend people get the hell away from it. And in fact, if you look at, when people say like there's a bifurcation, I really feel like people that are still really tightly hung on Facebook, there's something you don't want to let go. There is a part of that old narrative where you're like, either you're addicted to the conflict, there's something you don't want to let go. Radio is so bad now, so much programming. Yes. However, once you can see it, so I don't, I was talking before about TV ads. I don't tend to watch TV, but every now and again there's a show that I'll like to see. So then there's some ads on. Now often I'll get up, I'll walk away, I'll make a tea, I'll do whatever. Sometimes it's there and it's just running in the background, but it's not triggering, right? So when I look at it, I know what I'm looking at and it doesn't trigger me. If it triggered me, I would turn it off, I would move away. That's not about saying, okay, love and light. When you turn a trigger off and turn away, like say before when it was, the unaware family member having a go, when you're triggered by that, literally just stop the conversation. Then you've got your material to sit with. Okay, why did that trigger me? What do I need to know about me in that conversation? What is it about me that this is showing me? Where can I still be triggered? Where am I, not mastering this? Where am I giving my power away to this person that I'm having a conversation with? That's where your power lies in that, not in convincing them to be different. Your power does not lie in convincing anybody else to be anything. Your power lies in how you can stay in your power within the shit show. I've been through it and you're right, it's ugly. Yeah. Yes. Break out of your own self-imposed barriers in prison, for sure. Okay, free yourself so that does not manifest for yourself. Yep. And if it were in some way, shape or form, as of course for a lot of Victorians it has already manifested in some shape or form, then how free can you be within an outer manifestation? So as long as you always choose freedom, then you are free. Right? As long as you choose freedom, then you are free. And collectively, when enough of us choose that, then we will have removed our power from the matrix enough that it collapses to the extent that we start to see shifts in the outer world. You will already do it in your own life. You can have it collapse in your own world. But as a collective experience, because this is a collective as well that we're working on, you just keep removing it. And when enough of us do that, it will collapse. Like as though you're at the theatre and half of the set falls down and you go, oh, that's a set. Right? That's what happens when you start to be aware. So if you haven't heard me distinguish this before, aware is kind of knowing what's going on. Awake is remembering your power within that, okay? So a lot of people are aware but not awake. They think they're awake but they're not. And we're all asleep at various times, right? Nobody's fully awake. But awake is, so you're watching, you're going through something and half the set falls down. This is what will happen when enough of us remove our energy from feeding it, from the grid. And we look at it and we go, oh, that's a set. When you can do that and then go, oh my God, how hilarious is that? Oh my God, it's always been a set. Then you're awake because you don't lose your power within it. If half of the set falls down and you go, oh my God, the fuckers, oh, I can't believe this has never been real. Oh my God, did you know? And you're running around going, oh my God, I fell for this. And did you fall? Do you know this? I have to let everybody know this is just a set. That is not awake. Free yourself so that, yeah, freedom is within, not external. Yes. And then when it's within, it is without. I gave my power away with the family member. I must not fully have power for me to do that. You know what? Natter all night. We all give our power away. We all give our power away. And this experience that we're currently in is a mastery. It's a master course in recognizing that. Because the minute you recognize you gave your power away, you're connected with it again. Because it is actually an illusion that you could give your power away. It's actually an illusion that someone else could have your power, right? You always have it and you always have access to it. We all do. But we can forget it, and situations can look like we don't have it. But we always do, because we always have, because we are the custodians and we always have power. So the mastery comes when you go, oh, I forgot myself for a minute there and I gave my power to you. And that's on me. Then you look at the relationship and you ask yourself, is this person able to have a respectful relationship with me? Okay, was this a one-off brain snap? Was this them in fear? Was this them worrying and trying to convince me of something? Whatever, have a look at it. On the whole, are they able to have a respectful relationship with me where we are able to have differences of opinions? If that's a yes, then great, go for it. You keep being in charge of your triggers. You might want to have a talk with them or whatever. But if the answer to that is no, then you definitely want to have a look at, well, do I wish to continue to have interactions with this person? Yes, I love that. Aware and awake. Yeah, it's a different energy. Aware is not the same as awake. A lot of people get that confused. Oh, thank you. Is it Rita? I think it's Rita. Okay, no. No as in they can't. Natter all night, do you mean no, they're not able to have that kind of an interaction with you? Any other questions, comments? I'm going to couple more minutes and then I will finish up for the day. Finish this video so that I can post it and it's not too long. Thank you all for joining me. I hope this was a good reminder for you. I hope this helps to know they can't be respectful at all. Okay, so that's on them. And then your part in that then is not to keep giving them your power, but to have a look at and to feel into, okay, so given that you're not able to have a relationship at the level that I find acceptable. Now, I'm not saying have this conversation with them. I'm saying have this conversation with yourself. Given that this person is not able to relate with me and to me on the level that I find acceptable, what do I want to do about it? If they're a family member, there may not be a complete cutting off and you might go, you know what, I'm just going to kind of remove myself a little bit. I'm going to, call them on it every now and again. I'm going to shift in the way I interact so that this person knows we have shifted. right? I'm not going to try and convince them of anything. If they try and convince me of stuff, I'm going to... Actually, my friend Kate has this brilliant reaction that she, anytime somebody does something, sort of says something that's completely, you know, like just trying to hook her or trigger her, or something that's really like trying to get into a conflict, she just writes, interesting. Brilliant. Works very well. Alyssa, hi. Yesterday someone told me their views and I wasn't triggered, but then last night when I went to bed I started thinking about what she said and I couldn't sleep. I don't understand why. Okay, because that was your ego. So when we get into bed at night, ego does this little assessment of the day. Especially when you are unaware of ego, it will be the most powerful voice in the room, the dominant voice in the room. So what happened was you let it go beautifully, brilliantly, very powerfully. You let it go. You were like, yep, I see that trigger and I'm not playing, right? Beautiful. You get into bed at night and ego goes, okay, what can I find to just kind of suggest that we could have some conflict about? Because remember, ego is very addicted to conflict and drama, and it doesn't want to let it go. And it's like, yeah, I'm not letting it go. I'm not letting it go. So a very powerful thing that you can do at that time, at night when you're going to sleep, 2 o'clock in the morning, you wake up, you start to think that. You recognize that now you're no longer actually in relation with that person. It can seem like it, and your ego will want to do like a good couple of hours of arguing backwards and forwards and different scenarios of how it might play out and what you'll do and what da-da-da-da-da and all the stuff. Just say to your ego, we're not doing this now. We're not doing this. And shift your focus specifically to something else. You could, if you are visualizing the person in your mind, if they've come back there, walk up to them, give them a hug, even say to them, we're not doing this right now, and walk away and purposefully shift your thought to something else. And then when it's not late at night or when it's not 2 a.m., you sit yourself down, you grab pen and paper, and you ask yourself, what is it about this that my ego doesn't want to let go? And you just start writing, and you'll be amazed what insights come to you on that paper. Yes, when I said agenda online, I feel it was and is to control us. Okay, yes, with as well as the smartphone, and they want us all online for sure. Yes, connected and hooked in. Yeah. But we as people awake to this have the ability to turn it into a higher vibe. Yes, yes, exactly. Beautiful. Yep. Yes, fully agree with you. Great. I'm glad that helps, Nat, all night. I like that you use the word hook. I think a lot of people or situations will try to take your power by trying to put a hook in you. Yes. And the other thing is they're actually not really trying to take your power. Like, have a think with yourself. I know myself. I've hooked people. I've triggered people. I've made people really fucked off in the past. And sometimes I have not meant to at all. It's their thing. They've gone off. I'm left standing there going, I don't even know what the fuck is just happening. So the hook is often not intentional. The hook is often a spot that shows you where you have a weakness, right? And so you want to remove the hook. The hook can be like, say, you know, in the situation with Alyssa, the hook can be ego hooking into you and going, I'm not ready to let that go. Come back. And we think it's the person, right? The person's gone on. They're living their life. They're asleep. They don't even. Sometimes you can say to them, they're like, I don't even remember saying that to you. It's not disregard. It's often not flippant disregard. It's not this whole thing, the whole world of narcissists, they don't even know what they're doing to me. It's the fact that we were triggered by something they didn't realize was going to be a trigger. They are not seeing this from the same perspective, and it's actually ego that goes, I am not ready to let that go. Okay, that's awesome. Thanks. And yes, that's exactly what happened at 1 a.m. Yeah. All right. Pleasure to have you all here. I hope that's helpful. If you didn't listen to it from the start, go back. Please share it. Bye. And is it Rita? You're so refreshing. Thank you so much. A lot of aha moments. Beautiful. Great. Thank you, Aurora. All right, beautiful people. Happy Monday. Happy mastery within the shit show. And Happy custodianship. Okay? Do it well. Do yourself proud. I do that too. It's like the mind gets stuck in loops and it's hard to switch off. It's ego. It's ego. Thank you. Thanks, Marianne. Thank you so much. It was very helpful. Great. Beautiful. Loz. Beautiful. All right. Take care, everybody. Much love. See you next Monday, 9 a.m.